job because she became pregnant. After going back to school, she ended up not being able to find a job in the legal world, so she went and taught at Rutgers and went through academia. And then her rise went from there. Everyone's familiar with the movie that was made about her a few years ago, talking about the court case and the glass ceilings that she shattered there on the terms of sexual discrimination. All right, can you hear me now? All right. So, anyways, well, we're all here tonight for the same reason, to celebrate a special woman, and we do have a slate of speakers that are here tonight. We're going to start off with the New York State Majority Leader of the Assembly, a woman who is no stranger to shattering glass ceilings herself, Crystal Peoples-Stokes.
Okay, thank you. Can you all hear me? My eyes have been leaking a lot of late because my daughter has been hospitalized. She's much better today. But on Friday, they really leaked. They leaked not just for this awesome Supreme Court justice that moved on, but they leaked for the people that she fought for her entire life. They leaked for each and every one of us who are now at jeopardy for having everything that she fought for dismantled. They leaked because there's so many people who are simply evil and will not allow this country to be the country that it was designed to be. It leaked because Justice Ginsburg understood, fought for women's rights. They leaked because nobody had to tell her that Black Lives Matter. They knew that. They leaked because her legacy, as profound as it is, will live on way past most of us. And the best we can do as a result of that is to make sure that we always let her light shine. We have to let her light shine. Now I will tell you that I'm a little nervous about the Republicans in Washington. I'm a little nervous about them. They don't have character. They have no integrity. They're simply evil people. They want to use the same argument that they used against President Barack Obama. Now they want to say it's okay to appoint somebody in the middle of an election. Just simply disgusting. And so I reached out to my hero in Washington, who is also from Brooklyn, Senator Schumer. He said, Crystal, we're doing our best. They already know that they need 5. There's some people say 4, but he's saying 5 Republicans to realize that there's something wrong if you try and replace Justice Ginsburg prior to the election. They have 2, that means they need 3 more. Now, a lot of us know people that live in other states where these Republicans are running for re-election. Now is the time to use your national voice. Call up your cousins, your church members, your family members, the people you go to association meetings with, the people you travel with in your convention arenas. Call them up. Help them organize letter writing campaigns to send to these senators to say no Supreme Court appointment before the election is over. No Supreme Court appointment until the election is over. No Supreme Court appointment until the election is over. The best way we can honor this stellar woman who literally fought cancer because she didn't want to allow them to have this opportunity.
Right.
The best way we can honor her is to make sure that doesn't happen. Woo! Let's make sure we do that. We can do our part now. At the end of the day, God be the glory for the life of the notorious RBG. To God be the glory.
Very powerful words. Very powerful words. And as the majority leader has said, you know, the hypocrisy that's going on in Washington right now is unfathomable, and we all need to organize and contact those senators that may be on the fence in the other states and let them know, you know, that appointment should not happen. So next up, we have our councilman from the town of Cheektowaga, Brian Nowak.
There's a lot that I could say this evening. But I think the historian Howard Zinn wrote in 2005 everything that I want to say, so I'm just going to share his words this evening. Now, what Zinn wrote here was written around the time John Roberts was appointed Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. And I want you to understand this passage in the context of Ruth Bader Ginsburg being one of the better voices, one of the best voices for working class people, for the middle class, for everybody that needed the legal system to work for them. It would be naive to depend on the Supreme Court to defend the rights of poor people, women, people of color, dissenters of all kinds. Those rights only come alive when citizens organize, protest, demonstrate, strike, boycott, rebel, and violate the law in order to uphold justice. The distinction between law and justice is ignored by all those senators who solemnly invoke as their highest concern the rule of law. The law can be just, it can be unjust. It does not deserve to inherit the ultimate authority of the divine right of the king. The Constitution gave no rights to working people, no right to work for less than 12 hours a day, no right to a living wage, no right to safe working conditions. Workers had to organize, go on strike, defy the law, the courts, the police, create a great movement which won the 8-hour day and causes such commotion that Congress was forced to pass a minimum wage law and Social Security and employment insurance. The Brown versus Board of Education decision on school desegregation did not come from a sudden realization to the Supreme Court that this is what the 14th Amendment called for. Gotta flip the page. After all, it was the same 14th Amendment that had been cited in the Plessy versus Ferguson case upholding racial segregation. It was the initiative of brave families in the South, along with the fear by the government, obsessed with the Cold War, that it was losing the hearts and minds of people of color all over the world, that brought a sudden enlightenment to the court. Ruth Bader Ginsburg did not need to be pressured as much as most of the justices and judges do. She was responsive to popular pressure. Let's hope that the person that replaces her is responsive to popular pressure. If they're appointed before we get a next president, I don't feel that's going to be the case. The individual that the next president would appoint will be more responsive to popular pressure and will be more likely to bring the kind of change this country needs.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Brian. All right. For 1 second, I just want to acknowledge all the people that helped set this up tonight. One was the person that just spoke here, Brian Nowak. Bill Mayer, and you guys that were able to get stickers. Bill was the guy that did that, so Bill. Rachel Casey, who spent a good portion of the day putting the candles together that everybody has. So, and of course our speakers, Chris Beagle-Stokes, Brian Nowak, our next speaker, Monica Wallace, Sean Ryan, and Amy Martucci. And up next is Monica Wallace.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah? Good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me? All right. What a great turnout this is. The great Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a Jewish girl from Brooklyn, left this earth on the eve of Rosh Hashanah, the holy day in which Jewish people celebrate the new year. And as Jewish tradition has it, those who die in the Jewish New Year are the ones that God saved till the very end, because they were needed so desperately here on earth, and because they were so very righteous. And that she was. That fittingly describes the iconic Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a champion of equality and civil rights. One of the most revered justices in American history, who made sure that we the people meant every single American. She was nominated to the Supreme Court by then President Bill Clinton, who referred to her as the Thurgood Marshall of the women's equality movement, and that she was. Some of the most notable decisions she penned, including the famous United States versus Virginia decision, which opened up the Virginia Military Academy to women. Yeah. She penned some scathing dissents when she knew the court had gotten it wrong on voting rights, on reproductive health, and on discrimination and equality. One of her most famous dissents was the case of Lilly Ledbetter versus Goodyear. And as a working woman, only the second one to ever serve in the Supreme Court, she knew that the Supreme Court didn't understand what it was like to be a working woman, and that they had absolutely gotten that case wrong. So she called upon Congress to overturn that decision, and that Congress did. And in fact, in 2009, the Lilly Ledbetter Equal Pay Act became the first law that then newly inaugurated President Barack Obama signed into law. Her legacy is an inspiration to millions and millions of women for decades to come. So many women in the legal profession, including myself, including my colleagues, my friends, I see Kathy Creighton here, so many women. And we're inspired by her actions, by her tenacity, by her dedication, by her bravery, and by her words. She has some of the most famous, inspiring quotes, including one of my favorites. Fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will cause others that will lead others to join you. Sorry, I got that right. Fight for the things you care about, but do it in a way that will lead others to join you. And fight we will this November. We're gonna fight because the things we really care about: gender equality, equality for all, LGBT rights, reproductive freedom, affordable health care, and our very democracy are all on the ballot. So, as we celebrate her legacy, we have to remember all that she did and carry forth that torch that she has handed to us and move forward for years to come. So thank you so much for organizing this event today. Before we fight, it's really important for us to reflect upon the incredible legacy that she left. In fact, she actually said that she wanted to be remembered as someone who worked her hardest to do her very best. And that she did, and she will be remembered for that. So thank you for the gift of the notorious RBG.
Next up, we have Assemblyman John Ryan.
Good evening, everybody. We've been gathering a lot down in Niagara Square for the last 4 years. And we've been gathering here because we feel like our cherished freedoms are under attack. We've been down in Niagara Square to show that we support the rights of the LGBT community because they feel like they're under attack. We've been down in Niagara Square to support the rights of our refugee community because we feel like they're under attack. And something I never thought I would have to rally for, but we did a rally in support of science because science is under attack. Ruth Bader Ginsburg spent her career and her life moving America forward. She believed deeply in equality, and as an attorney, she spent her career paralleling Thurgood Marshall, and Thurgood Marshall spent his generation before he became a Supreme Court judge going through the South and systematically taking apart legal racism. Ruth Bader Ginsburg spent her career taking apart systematic gender inequality. She fought for inequality in the workplace. She fought for inequality in front of the courts. And she fought to make sure that women had control over their own reproductive rights. I remember when Thurgood Marshall died. The nation went into mourning and we reflected on the greatness of his life and what he bought our nation. There was no talk about who was going to come after him. The nation recognized what he did for us. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, we should be recognizing that way. But the very day she died, what are they talking about in Washington? How they could replace her, and how they could replace her in a way that makes sure that women are not equal in the workplace, and to make sure women are not equal in front of the courts, and to make sure that women do not have reproductive rights. And are we going to stand for that? No! Only one way we can stop that. That's by voting. You got to vote yourself. You got to get your neighbors to vote. You got to get your parents to vote. You got to get your kids to vote. But we all need to work together to make sure that the legacy of Ruth Bader Ginsburg of moving this country forward and guaranteeing that every American has the rights promised under the Constitution prevail. So go vote.
All right, last speaker we have tonight is Judge Amy Martocci. Somebody from the bench that's following in the footsteps of that pioneer, RBG. So, here you go, Judge.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. This is a tremendous showing for an icon in our nation's history. And as I look around, we can only say that though she was small in stature, she was a giant in every other way. She had a profound impact on the lives of all of us. I go to work every day knowing that I stand on her shoulders. I am grateful for what she fought for. And when I think about the fact that she was undergoing cancer treatment, and yet she made it to the court to do her work. She did her work because she knew her work mattered. And you know, she once said, to make life a little better for a few people less fortunate, that's what I think a meaningful life is. Sorry, my glasses are fogging up. One lives not just for oneself, but for one's community. And she really showed us what that means. Now, 2020 has been one heck of a terrible year. We have had the coronavirus, we've lost people, we've lost other icons. And you know, with John Lewis's passing, there's been a lot of talk about good trouble. And with RBG's passing, I think we all need to think about how to be notorious in our own way. She is asking us to take and do what we can to make our community better. And so I want to thank all of you for being here, and I certainly want to thank the organizers and all of the labor groups that have stood up and helped us so that we can all stand up for all of us. Thank you.
All right. So does anybody still not have a candle? All right, come on right up here to the steps. We do have candles up here. Let's see all those candles get lit, and so everybody can see them from high in the sky. In closing, I guess one thing I can say is, well, they can fill the position on the Supreme Court. They'll never be able to replace.
Notorious! RBG! Notorious! Notorious!
marching